Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
Welcome. This is the Application of Knowledge podcast. We have Chris James in the building, Stephen Michael.
Why are you talking so melancholy?
Am I? You want me to?
I want you to be like you normally are.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
This is the Application of Knowledge podcast.
That's not
Chris James, Stephen Michael. I am Animated Mel, and we have what's episode is this? Episode number 33. 33.
Wow. Special episode.
So we have a nice little special episode.
Wait, 33, that's a special number, isn't it?
Is it a special number?
It is.
Oh, what's special about
it? Isn't it 33 is a Masonic number, isn't it? Is this like
it can be
33 levels?
You a Mason?
No.
You a Freemason, man?
No.
You enjoy
My
it?
grandpa was, though.
Oh, he was?
Wow.
For Illuminati?
Conversation.
Yeah.
X-Man, Xavier. But yeah, we have a special guest joining us today, all the way from a whole nother country.
Wow.
Right? You're in a whole nother country, right?
No.
I thought she said we was in Canada.
What?
No.
No, you're thinking about somebody else.
Oh, I thought you said she was in Canada.
Wrong
No. She's in Arizona.
She's in
in Vegas.
Oh,
Come on, man.
I thought he said Canada.
Nah, man.
Oh, well, snap. In that case, well, hello.
Hello.
Like,
What does that change?
well, I don't know. I thought she was in Canada for some reason. Yeah, so we have Reggie Sweat in the building with us, and you know she has been interested in offering some dialect when it comes to the relationship conversations that we've been having. You know, it's always good to get a woman's perspective on a lot of things, since we always have, you know, these men.
Oh, we get some weird comments, Reggie. The last time somebody said 3 gay men talking about women.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so we're gay now.
The assumptions there, yeah.
No, it happens. It happens. So, question to you: what in particular did you see within the reels or content that we had posted that made you be like, I would like to offer some input on this? Or like, how was your perspective on a lot of the things that we talk about?
Well, I can't say every specific item, but, I was skimming through and saw some of your excerpts about just talking about relationships in general. And I said, wow, that's interesting, because I spoke with Chris off camera, and,
Right.
And I was saying, in today's world, it's like, the media and all the narratives that are being pushed out there about what they think a man is. And I kind of correlated that with what it was when I was dating, because I'm much older than you guys.
Don't look like it.
Well, thank you, appreciate it. And
Mhm.
but just 20 years ago, it was a different stereotypes that were thrown out there, but masculinity is now being punished for some reason. Yeah. And I love men. I love you guys, right? And I listen to that, and I hear, how maybe treatment you're getting from certain women, and maybe it's not necessarily the roles, at least when I was dating, that you expected women to be. Maybe it's we're all aggressive. I'm a pretty aggressive woman. And I was in the Air Force. I was in the military. You had to be aggressive. So,
Yeah.
if you want to survive there. And I was a teenager when I went there. I was 17 in the military. So immediately you had to become an adult pretty quick. And, you're carrying weapons. You could shoot someone, because I was a military police. And
MP?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't shoot nobody going, they like, you gonna go on the day with me. You ain't standing me up.
Right. You gotta pick me up at this time and
You
be
gonna pick
on
me up at this time.
Be on time.
Yeah.
$1,800. Don't be late.
Right.
But no, seriously. But still, because I was a tomboy of sort, right, being in the military, that didn't mean that I didn't know how to be feminine at the same time. And when it came down to personal relationships, I'm a person that I believe in traditional aspects of men and what their traditional expectation is, being the leader of the household is one, right? And then two, being a partner. It doesn't mean we have different roles, but we're still equal. And when it comes to dating, I'll say dating. Now, I've done both sides of dating where I was the aggressor and being the aggressee, I guess you would call it. But I just believe that seeing what's happening today because you guys, you grew up with social media, you grew up with, technical aspects, texting, all that. I don't even remember when texting started, but it wasn't around when I was first dating. And so we actually sat on the phone and would stay on the phone all night and actually talk to each other instead of texting. And because of that, I think it was an easier connection to actually get to know someone a little easier. Now, I did the online dating too, and that's how I met my husband. And of course, if I didn't use that tool, I probably would have never have met him, being in another city.
Because you be working so much.
Yeah, tell me about it. Definitely. It's a different way now. I mean, we're all busy. I have a full-time job. I'm a caregiver. I have a YouTube channel, and I have a husband. So I have to, take care of others, but also you got to take care of yourself. So you be someone that you would be attracted to from your partner or someone you're trying to meet. Because if you're stressed out and then you're quick about, texting someone, and then you don't even get a chance to really understand who you're meeting out for dinner or whatever the case is.
Right. I think Steve had a question he wants to
I'm sorry?
Yeah, Steve had a question he wants to slide to you.
Yeah, I got it. I have something I want to piggyback off something that you said, and then I have a question. So interestingly enough, where we are in our age, we grew up at a very interesting age. Because we grew up where half of our life there was very little internet. So I don't think that we got I didn't get computers until I was like in 6th or 7th grade. And that was like the first computer that we had. And then it wasn't until, mid-teens, 14, 15, 16 in that area where like the Nokias.
High school is when I was a freshman in high school when they came out.
Okay, so I was probably a sophomore, junior before I actually got one, and that's when texting just really kind of started. So we were pretty much out of school. Like we had Instant Messenger, AOL,
Instant Messenger,
right? Yeah. But we really grew up in the era of having to talk to women face to face. You slide them a note in school, right? There was no other way to really talk to anybody where there is now. And so our era, we then also experienced the growth of technology. So we can text very well. We know how to have conversations on phone, or we have conversations via text. I know that we've all spent nights, like you stated, on the phone, boot up. Hey girl, we grew up in the party line phase. So they were party lines.
You know about the party line?
Oh yeah, the party line.
What's party line?
You never heard about a party line?
What's party line, man?
Ooh,
so a party line is a line where you would be a phone number that you would call, and each city would have their own phone number, and you just have random guys and girls calling in, talking to each other, and then you'd go in these rooms. And you'd make up a name or whatever, and you would just talk to people. Like
it was dope. Honestly.
It was. I mean,
that's pretty fun. That sounds fun.
It was dope. But that's part of how we communicated. So I think that a lot of what's happening now is that now, as people are growing, and we're seeing a lot of the 20 to 25-year-olds, 28, maybe to 30, they're really starting to come through, and they don't communicate well. they have a hard time having those face-to-face conversations or expressing how they feel. And this is part of why like emojis and GIFs were created, because it really helps them express how they feel without saying those words. So they can send a text message with an emoji to express how they feel, but they didn't say it. So it's almost like having this safety net, right? Of just saying, well, it was just an emoji or it was just a GIF. You know, it wasn't, I didn't actually say it or mean it. And almost like a level of protection. So what do you think about like communication? So you said that you met your husband online, which I think is pretty cool, because a lot of what's happening nowadays. So I don't go out and party. We don't party. Like we don't go out like that. Like, so it's very difficult for us to like meet the quality of women that we want to meet if we don't go online, because there's really no, there's really no other way to find them, unless you're going out to party and stuff nowadays. So what do you feel like was the key for you when you were like, you said you made them online? How did you go about that? Like, what helped you take things from online dating, texting? Like, what helped you take it to the next level?
Well, first of all, I would say, because when I started the online dating thing, I don't know, that was probably 2004. And so
Black Planet.
I went on all the sites. The sites. Match, what is it? Black People Meet or something? And
Black People Meet.
Well, Black People Meet was one.
Was it?
Yeah. And then what was the other? I even went on a Christian match.
Christian Mingle.
Yeah, he was on there trying to match up.
I know all the dating sites,
I've
been.
It's been a while, obviously, because I've been out that game for 7 years. So
what is Tinder?
Tinder was the last one I was on, and that's when it first started, and I didn't realize it was the hookup.
It changed.
So I met somebody, and I was just like, "What?"
Has Tinder always been a hookup site?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because it started as like dating. Now Tinder is literally like, are y'all just trying to hook up or what?
Right. But I saw that evolving pretty quick at the beginning of Tinder, and so I had to jump off of that thing quick. But anyway, back to your question. You were asking me about the difference, or
so you were able to take it, because a lot of people are online dating now. Like this is the how people are meeting, right? This is the bulk of how people are meeting. And due to my personal, like what I believe is part of the issue with people going, they're not getting anywhere, is they lack communication skills. So my question is, what do you feel as though helped you take it from just online dating to the next level? And is there, I guess, any advice or something that you could give to our young women out there to help take things to the next level? Because that's what they want. Not everyone, but that's what they want. They want to take things to the next level. So,
right. Well, because I will say this: you have to know what you're looking for. Have an idea first, and not just whatever looks good
just
on a photo.
That's good.
Right. I mean, I know we're all visual, and especially men are visual first. But do they say something in the profile that catches your eye? And pretty quick if someone is just looking for the hookup. I'm not interested. Next. But with my husband, with him, I called him what I call online can be lazy dating. And I asked him, "Are you a lazy dater?" A lazy dater is just someone just let it all come to them and just don't really put much action behind it to show the interest, to know, or you're just, because there's so much quantity but not as much quality that I could find, to me, online, at least in my experience. But it was about knowing, and yes, my preference was probably a narrow path, right? But I started to open up by, for instance, I can't just say, hey, I want a guy that's over 6 feet, no matter what, you know.
You can't say that.
You're not allowed to say that.
I did that. Yes, no, but I'm saying I did that, and it didn't give me a lot of choices.
Didn't work out too well.
Wait a minute. Let me just hold your thought. So you're telling me that you said, I want a man who's over 6 foot, and then you realized it narrowed your dating pool, and then you had to maybe pull that back and say, well,
He could be 5 foot.
maybe he could be 5'10" or 5'11".
He could be 5'9".
Yes, that's correct, and that's what happened. And then I can't remember what category it was that I had, but I can say right now off the top of my head is I had to widen the category of the area. Can't be just like it's in my city. I went all over the country.
Oh.
But it ended up being very close by that I met my husband. But for us, we didn't get in touch even on the phone for 9 months because I dropped off. I moved from California to Las Vegas again for numerous times that I've been back and forth. I'm from LA originally, or California. And he was in Manhattan Beach area. So I disappeared, and we were in the midst of talking, but he really wasn't asking me out to meet in person. So I just said whatever and just moved on. And when I got back to Vegas, I decided to get back on the site. And so when I did, I saw him viewing my profile, and then I decided to reach out. So I had to make a little bit of effort there to say, hey, no.
That sounds like a lot of effort, actually, especially considering the amount of effort women put in nowadays.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, they won't even make that much effort. Like if a man, so here's what a man has to do to get any attention online. Number one, you have to look the part. Like you gotta look like you have resources. You have to look like you dress well. You probably need professional pictures. Most of the dating sites have like these super features where you can super like a girl, send them roses, or go out. You have to spend money on the dating site just to get their attention. Then once you get their attention, it's literally up in the air whether or not they respond. It doesn't matter how much you've done, like any work you've done ahead of time. It's going to be completely random whether or not they respond. And then if they do respond, to get a second response is like it's insane how hard it is to just get a second response, because most of the women are inundated with all these dudes that are interested. They're messaging, they're whatever, and their inbox is just blown up. And it seems to me like when women find a guy who might be a quality guy, they have no gauge for what a quality man is. They don't know if he's just looking for a hookup. They don't know how to ask those insightful questions. They're lazy daters, is what you said. Yeah. And so they take no time to get to know somebody to even qualify them. They just let the guy message. And then if you do get their number, if you do go on a date with them, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to hear from them again unless you message them first. They're not going to say, hey, that was really nice of you to take me out. Like they're on to the next dude. Like another dude's taking them out the next day.
Okay. See, that's where it's a little different from when I was doing it. Usually there's a mutual understanding that we both want to be in touch and for our next date. We know. Okay. But going on to the next one and the next one and the next one, how are you going to get to know anyone if you're spending your time everywhere? You don't have that much time in a day.
There's a key there, and it's really it's too many options.
Yeah.
Right. You have too many options, and just as if in your real world, if you are overwhelmed or you're stressed, if you have too much on your plate, what tends to happen is psychology. There's a term for that. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But when you have too much on your plate and you're stressed, then you do nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the exact same way with dating. When you have all these options, when I've had women that send me screenshots of their inbox, and then it literally just says 99 messages plus, which means there's so many messages. We can't count. Like we're not going to try to show you have 400 messages, but it's like, how can a woman, even someone who's serious, like really go through those and determine who they actually like? It's very difficult.
How did you navigate your inbox, Reggie?
Well, immediately, I mean, again, it was visual at first, you know, and I see these pictures, but usually I was getting a ton of older guys, like 25, 30 years older than me. And I'm like, wait a minute. You know, they think instantly that's like, oh, she must be a sugar baby or something. Because,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of sugar daddy potential was going on there. But I wasn't interested in that. You know, I mean, I have my own career. That's never been the case. But I just noticed that certain sites will bring the certain type of individual. And so I had to move along and try other things. Now, I date interracially. So, and I'm married to a Caucasian man now. But I've always dated everything. And I got on a specific site. It was an interracial dating site at the end of the day, just to see.
So it sounds like boiling it down, like one of the first things that you had mentioned was, what are you looking for? Right.
Yeah.
That was, you know, one of the first things that you said. And I think that's a very, very important thing, because Chris, I mean, there's many a times where we have said, and there's plenty of, you know, people out there that talk about this, like women and men like don't know what they want.
Yes.
Right. And what I have done, and Mel, I know you've done this, is literally get off of the sites, stop dating, and then for a period of time, literally go get a journal. I have a journal. I'm not gonna call it a diary, but I have a journal.
Dear diary.
And I literally have written in there what I want. What does this woman look like? What's her height? What's her weight? What is her body shape? What does she, you know, like literally every time I think of something, I'm like, oh, I like this, or I want this, I'll write it in there. And I'm literally putting that on paper and then putting it out in the world so that it eventually will come to me. Right. So sure. So when I go back into the dating field, because I'm not in the dating market right now, when I go out there, I have a very clear path of what I'm looking for. Now, does that mean if she's, you know, on that list, it says she's got to be 5'8" plus, right? I'm 6'4". So does that mean if a woman shows up and she's fantastic and she's 5'5", I'm going to say no? Absolutely not, right? I'm not going to put on my dating
like, you didn't make the cut.
Like, you got all these other qualities. No, you didn't make the cut. I'm not going to put on my profile that you got to be 5'8" plus. Like, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't make sense. It's a metric that I desire, but it's not a deal breaker. Yeah, it's not a deal breaker, right? Like if you got 5 kids, that's a deal. I mean, that's too many kids. You know what I mean? I got 2. I can take a couple kids, but you know what I mean? 5, but 5, you know. But it's not a deal breaker. So, but if you at least have an idea of what you want, and you go out there with the intent of this is what I'm looking for. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a hookup, whatever it is, if you go into the market with the idea and thought of this is what I want, as you stated, these type of people will come to you, and you create this funnel or this filter that automatically just filters a bunch of people out. Hey, you're 30 years older than me, and I'm not looking for that, right? You are this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Like you just filter certain things out. And then the people that do come that you actually talk to, then you can actually give them time and attention. But if you're just talking to anybody, just like, well, I'm just going to see what comes of it, right? It's just like, you know, in AHA, like when it comes to people in the wellness path, you know, they're on their wellness walk and they're fasting, and they're like, well, I'm just going to start fasting for an infinite amount of days and see what happens. I mean, it's one of the biggest mistakes that people can make, because you don't put a time frame on it. And you know, one of our coaches, Jasmine, she always says that if you have a goal without a time frame, it's just a dream, right? There's nothing that's actually behind it to say that this is when I'm going to accomplish it. So it could happen in a year, it can happen in 2 years. It's just a dream, right? So going into the field with an idea and saying, well, this is what I'm looking for. And the things don't match that. And if there are things that you can compromise on certain things, they don't match that, then just let them move on.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, we got to start with some foundation somewhere. And then that person that meets that foundation most likely would appear when you know what you want. And I think that was the case with, meeting my husband. I think I was, when I firstly made, initial contact, and he reached out, and he had things going on, with family and, people moving, and, so we never really could get it together. And then that's when I end up moving for my job back to Las Vegas. And that's how that whole 9-month period, we couldn't get back until then. But at that point, we were literally on the phone immediately when we did reach out again, and talking for a couple of hours at a time initially. So that's when I knew, okay, well, we need to meet. So we need to get together. So we had dinner, and ever since then, we were together. Every weekend I was back in LA visiting for a year. And then
Make it happen.
What?
Yeah, and then he moved
Reggie,
to Vegas. Me. Mhm.
Reggie, what is your expectation as it relates to communication? I'm curious to know, because I find that a lot of women nowadays expect a man to communicate, like be in constant communication. So you talked about the difference between how you grew up and how we grew up, and even the younger generation. What's your expectation if you're dating someone with intention? How frequently do you want to be in communication with them?
Frequently, I want to be in communication. So you're saying initially you meet and you started dating, and what that looks like, or?
I mean, sure. Tell us what the initial looks like, and then how do you maintain that? What does communication look like?
Oh, okay. Well, I would say it went both ways. And yes, I'm a traditionalist from childhood. Yeah, my father always taught me to be independent no matter what, as a female, right? He said, you can't expect men to take care of you. And he told me that at a very young age. Okay. But the other thing about that is, yes, I'm very independent, but also I knew that I also need my partner, whoever I'm dating, I need him to be the man that he has been learning to grow up to be, and not to overpower that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not very sexy if I'm always in control.
No.
Yeah. Right. I really, what attracts me to my husband is being, an alpha male, and being that he knows what he wants, and needs to do that, and have the freedom to do that. And I'm fine with it. I mean, there's no like, we feel like we need to check in with each other throughout the day. It's nice to say hello, or we'll send a text, hi darling, love you, but I never expected a man to feel like that he needs to check in with me all day long for me to feel secure that we're a couple. I wasn't that person. Now, I may have been a little different because I was in the military, so there was a lot of masculinity ways that I took over in my own world, and I was always working. I mean, 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and then you had time to go out maybe one night a week. So there wasn't a lot of expectation to say, hey, you need to take me out every other day, or we need to see each other every day for this to be a real relationship. But as I got older, okay, now say with dating my husband, yeah, we saw each other every weekend, but during the weekday, we may talk once a day, but I didn't expect him, to keep calling me because I was extremely busy, taking care of business. So I wanted to make sure I took care of my job and my responsibilities, so I could be present when we had time together. And that's when it feels great, because you actually can focus on the person when you're taking care of your business elsewhere. You know.
So it sounds like part of your success was, even with your, being raised military, being taught to be independent, but still understanding that there's a need, your words, there's a need to have a man that is still can be a leader, right? Like, yes, you have the ability to be independent and do things on your own, but still, it's like, well, I still need a man that's going to be like, yo, listen, and take that front running role.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Totally. Mm-hmm.
and there's not your, because my thing is, I think a lot of women expect. So I'm very busy, right? Like a woman wouldn't even probably know a lot about me because I don't talk about like my accomplishments and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm very laid back. I let people get to know me. You know what I mean? I don't put that in their face, but most won't take the time. But it's like I have a lot going on and I'm working in my purpose, and you expect me to communicate with you throughout the day, every day. And if you don't, then you're not interested, and she done moved on to the next guy, right? So I was just curious if that worked out for you or how you approached it, because a lot of women seem to do that.
And that's unfortunate because, you got to trust, right? You got to have faith in the man. And I think you guys do need to be given a break sometimes here too. I mean, and it goes both ways. We have to just trust each other. I always trusted a man until I couldn't, or he showed me different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. And if I felt that I need to check up on you or something, or I feel that you're not being true in the way you say you are, and the actions are not meeting it, with your words, well, I don't stay in the relationship. I'm just out. I'm not going to stay in a relationship and try to make you miserable.
Mm-hmm.
That to me doesn't make sense. It's toxic.
You said something very interesting, and you said I trust a man until I couldn't, right? And when it comes to like dating, I think that a lot of people they're serial daters, right? So they go from one person to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, like never taking that time to say, let me just take a moment and just breathe and process these last 10 dudes that I went out with. And it was like, so it's like you just are carrying all this distrust and all this hurt from one person to the next, and you don't even give the next man a chance because you're just like, oh, that's a red flag. I see something I saw in guy number 8. Like, no, it's not a red flag. It's just you get to know people. Yeah. There was a woman one time I was when I was dating, and she said something. It was like day 2 of us talking, and she said something, and I responded, and I was like, yeah, don't be like other girls and do da 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 da. Like, it was so insignificant. And she said, hey, don't start treating me like other women. I haven't done anything to you. And she was like, if that's how you are, then you probably need to take some time and do some healing and then come back online later. And I said, you know what? You're probably right. Like, and this was like a year ago, right? And I literally deleted my account that next day. And, she obviously got deleted too. And I just took like 2 months just to think about what was happening as I started dating again. But I at least heard it and was like, you know what, you're probably right. And I see women go from man to man to man to man. Like, I mean, in some relationships, I've seen girls like literally in 3 full-blown relationships in a year. And I just, for the life of me, can't understand how you do that. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I always look at this. There's age, right? And then there's maturity. And I was not mature in my 20s and I would say into my 30s, because I didn't know what I wanted. And I was just dating, I mean, that's what I looked at it in that decade period, was about figuring out who you are and dating different people, but that also gives you the experience of knowing what you don't want, but also who you are and how are you going to be a better partner to someone when you are ready. You got to experience somewhere.
Yeah.
But depending on the age group or someone you were dating, like you said about if you are having some issues or bringing some baggage into a new relationship and maybe not giving that person the benefit of the doubt, right? Then yes, you did the right thing, my friend. Is you step back. That was impressive to me, and just said, hey, I'm gonna have to think about this and heal, because I'm penalizing someone about
Right.
my past experiences. Yeah, and I know I probably did that, definitely. But when I met my husband, and I was in my 40s, you see how long that was.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was that person. I'm not the person in my 20s. In my 20s, I was dating a lot of people, like you said, as well. Mel, and dating people did not mean I was in a relationship. So I never said, hey, no one could really say that I was their girlfriend. Maybe you say, oh, I dated her for a couple of months, but it just didn't work out. And then I had this thing about in 90-day probation period in my head. You're never the real person in the first 90 days. So, and no one can maintain that person, that mask that they're wearing, more than 90 days. That's what I had always had a theory about. And then if they can make it past 90 days that we're still hanging out, that means we're ready to show each other who we really are.
That sounds like some Steve Harvey stuff.
What's that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man.
Think like a man. You don't know about the 90-day probation?
I'm sorry?
You don't know about the Steve Harvey 90-day probation?
No. Because when did he bring that up? I don't even know. I haven't listened to him, and
Was
I
that
don't know.
2009 or 2000?
It was a while back.
It was like 2009 or something. But basically, he was teaching women to not have sex with a man for at least 90 days after meeting him.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that too. No, definitely. But I was making a point on a mental and emotional level.
Right. No, I was just joking, but I just thought it was funny because men will make it 90 days without having sex. If that's the goal, and then on day 91, they're going to do what they got to do, and they out.
Well, and again, yeah, that's never been something that I thought about. I just said, hey, if you and the person are at the same level at the same time and mesh together, for saying, and you're looking long term, then you do what you do. That's your business. But I'm just saying that I knew that we can't uphold our best foot, put our best foot forward all the time, and be that person that's your I don't know, your alter ego. I don't know if you want to call it that, but it's just the person that is wearing a mask, because you're trying to get that person's attention, but you never really show them who you really are. It usually falls off after 90 days.
Yeah. Okay, Reggie, we know you're a little short on time, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is called Stephen Michael.
Ooh.
Working the pole.
Wow. Poles. Yes.
Yeah, poles.
Yeah, because a pole is like I'm a stripper.
Well, or it could be a singular pole.
Okay.
Well, Stephen Michael, he has a poll that he typically does every podcast. Oh. And so we're going to pass it over to Stephen Michael and see what this poll entails.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for the wonderful introduction that you bash every single time, but I appreciate it.
No, you just need to let it be what it is. This gonna be the
trying
pole.
To put me on a stripper pole like I'm out here.
You thinking about stripper pole?
Yeah. So what I usually do, there's a segment where I post polls on my Instagram, and we talk about them. Right, because it's really good to get feedback, and I found this a really good way of getting feedback. So last week we talked about, Mel brought up a topic about fat shaming, and I wanted to bring this up to you, Reggie, because I know that you're in that health field, and I wanted to kind of get your opinion, because I think that you maybe have a different point of view, not opposing, but just different. So we talked about fat shaming, and we asked if fat shaming was okay. And I think there was a resounding no across the panel last week that, fat shaming, and saying something to make someone intentionally feel bad in hopes that they will start to lose weight is a negative thing. So I posed a question on my Instagram, and I said, fat shaming is not okay, but do you think it's important to let your close friends or family know that they have put on a few pounds recently, right? So these are going to be people that, are you're close to, friends, family, is it okay? And I know that in our circle, we do things a particular way. So my question on my poll was, my friends and I hold each other accountable. And then here's their answers. Okay. So the answer you could have picked was, yes, we discuss health. Nah, we just rock out. So no, we don't talk about health. We don't discuss it. It just is what it is. And then the third option was, not my body, not my business. As in, basically, it's basically a no, but it's indifference. Like, nah, it ain't got nothing to do with me, right? Mm-hmm. So, let me just ask you before I give the poll results, because I don't want to influence you. Yeah. How do you feel about, if you have a close friend or family member, how do you approach that if you feel that maybe they put on a few pounds, they can lose a few pounds, or what have you seen in your own life?
Well, yeah, I could just tell you about my own self too, but yeah, but I have friends and we all going through different changes, but at this age, menopause is the thing for me, and never really had a real crazy health, I'm sorry, not health, but weight issue, with the exception of there was 2 different times in my life. And that was because it was either perimenopause or it's menopause, it's hormonal weight gain. And so I gained 20 and then I lost 20 with fasting. And then I saw that with my friends. And so what I did is just share what I was doing. And because if you're leading as an example, then usually they were asking, what are you doing? And so that opened up the conversation instead of me saying, hey, girl, what's going on? You gaining weight. What's that about? I would never do that. I really asked them from a health standpoint, and because it is about health, right? And they know they gained the weight. I mean, that's not really the case. They probably just embarrassed.
Or do they know?
I don't know. I mean, but for me, I'm just saying for friends that I know, they know, and that they're going, and it could be a medical thing, it could be something going on there, but the hormones, all that. But what I usually do is I share what I'm doing on a health standpoint, and that opens up the conversation.
Okay.
What percentage of women in your life or whatever do you think gain weight for health reasons versus poor habits?
What I think is, most of it.
What percentage are health related? Like, I got a messed up thyroid versus I just like eating cheeseburgers and seafood all the time.
Or that could be 50-50. I can't really say, but I mean, I've heard, some of my girlfriends just be like, yeah, I'm just eating junk food. I'm stressed and I'm eating junk food. I know I'm not eating the right thing that I should be. Okay. And then I say, well, we can work a plan out and let's do it together, and I'll tell you what I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I bring myself into the conversation because we all have the struggle of trying to maintain or lose it. It's one or the other.
The purpose of you doing that, though, is to offer assistance. It's like you see it and you're like, hey, this is my way of basically, this is my way of showing you the right way, and I see that you gained some weight, and I want to assist you. So you,
yes, I mean,
you go out of your way
I don't see it that way per se, but yes, I'm the person that I'm very sensitive about, especially us women, and how I approach that, because we're very, we know our on the visual sense what we look like. Now, I do know there's a lot of women that carry the weight very well, and they could be heavier and you not really notice. So, but it usually comes down to working out or something. They slow down on the physical activities. So
Okay.
that's when I invite them to what I'm doing. You know, hey, let's go for a walk. You want to go for a walk with me? You know,
That makes sense. Okay. Well, I appreciate your input. And so let me tell you guys the results. So once again, the options were no, we don't discuss health. Or I'm sorry, yes, we do discuss health. Nah, we just rock out. We just party with friends, and not my body, not my choice, or not my body, not my business. So at the lowest, what at 5% was nah, we just rock out. Like we don't discuss it. It's almost like a this is a topic that we don't touch. Yeah, we don't go there. So 5%.
Cap.
Right. 5%. The next one at 33% was yes, we discuss health. So a very low percentage still of people that say that they do discuss health. This also, I just also want to mention that this poll had a very low, when I say low compared to some of my other ones, right? When I talk about food, the percentage of people that do the poll is much higher, right? And it was so interesting because I could tell that this was a topic that I had a lot of people message me also that did not answer the poll because they just felt they wanted to add to the conversation, but they didn't answer the poll. It's it's a topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about, right? Sure. Which it makes sense. But so the second one was yes, we discuss health, and then the overwhelming answer, which I think that is pretty obvious, was not my body, not my business, which at 62%. Which you can really take that other 5% and really
add
put
it.
in there.
Yeah, you really gave the same answer,
right? So it's really almost like close to 70% of what that answer is, which is no. And then of course the people that had inboxed me were all no as well. They just feel like it's not my life. I don't have any choice in the matter or any say. And I think that what's happening is that in society there is this. The conversation is considered fat shaming. Just bringing it up,
but only with women though, because men keep each other accountable.
That is
like inherently, like we're different from like the way Reggie described how she would do it. Not even you're fat. Like Mel is the main one. Mel has no filter at all. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I get it. And I understand. That's why I said, the demographics, I wasn't sure exactly on the poll, right?
That was all women, right?
It was mostly women. Yeah, it was mostly women.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised at that, but at the same time, coming from us and in the industry that we're in of nutrition, wellness, health, right? We see an opportunity to
right.
Now, if I was, I don't know, whatever your audience, maybe in their 30s or something like that, I probably might not say nothing if I felt like I wasn't qualified to even do that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because
I'm freaked out, by 15 pounds, I'm like,
men, once again, we talk about this stuff. Like, my boys have told me, like, hey, yo, man, you put on a few pounds, man. What's up? Like, I literally just talked to my friends yesterday, and we were on FaceTime. He was like, hey, man, you looking good, man. I know you can lose some weight. You know what I'm saying? You still trying to lose a couple more? I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for you. Just randomly brought it up. You know what I mean? Conversely,
you guys connect, and that's what I love about men because you guys there's no stressing out about what you said, and it's just it's free flowing. You guys know you love each other and just looking out, but you just get directed to the point.
Right?
That's the difference. It's more. It has to be handled with care with us women because it is a connection to the way we look and the way we feel, and then there could be depression, anxiety, that kind of thing going on. So, there's a lot of things happening. We're women.
Interesting.
We're just women. We're complex.
I appreciate the feedback on that topic.
A quick question: What are your thoughts about Kevin Samuels?
Wow, you was reading my mind.
If you, well, I was trying to get to that earlier before we got to that, but yeah, I'm curious if you're familiar with Kevin Samuels,
The YouTuber.
Yes.
That passed away, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I did not know anything about him until he passed away, and then I started looking back at his channel, and I see those topics, and I see, yeah, he was wild. He was wild. And I was surprised I did not know about him before.
Well, you were when he was on his rise, you were being courted. I think.
Yeah.
You were kind of out of the market, so it didn't even matter to you.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I don't believe in, going after people and getting into all this. I don't know.
So you never watched the full broadcast of his?
Is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, people want to see that obviously because he had the following.
Right.
You never watched the full broadcast of his?
No.
Okay.
No. Sorry. I just caught bits and pieces because I was just trying to understand it, going through some of his videos and see who he was.
I would implore you, if you have a minute someday, just watch one of his whole streams, or even just go to a full stream and watch like an hour of it. And it may change your viewpoint of him. Like, not saying your viewpoint is bad or good of him, but just
I just, it was just wasn't, my I guess my, I don't know, subjects of interest of what I look for on YouTube per se, and that's why I just didn't come across him.
Makes sense.
I'll check him out more. Yeah, that's very sad though that he passed away.
Yeah, his impact was huge.
Yeah, that floored me on. The what was behind that. I don't understand how that happened. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. You all have any more questions that you all want to ask Reg?
I know she's low on time.
No, I want to respect people's time.
Okay. All right. Well,
no, I appreciate you guys. No, thank you. You might have heard a bell in your recording here. So that was my mom ringing the bell. I got to go get her lunch.
Beautiful. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for rocking out with us. We'll probably have you on sometime later in the future because it's always good to get a good woman's perspective.
Yeah.
No,
I appreciate you guys having me on here and taking the time for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you for making it out from Canada.
Wow.
All the way out from Canada.
All the way from Canada.
She's in the gambling state.
I know. I was just
that's classic. You guys be well, my friends.
You too.
All right. Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I hope y'all have enjoyed this episode. Reggie came all the way from
New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean Africa.
Some great insight, some great input.
I think it was interesting how she basically said, "Yo, in my 20s and 30s, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know who I wanted. I was just dating without intention. Although at that time, I bet you she thought she was dating with intention because she was meeting guys and doing all that. But when she looked back on it, that's when she realized, no, I wasn't. Yeah. And I think a lot of women out there in our age range are doing that currently. If she's a victim of it, especially being, a generation older, these women in our generation are definitely a victim of it. And they don't do that introspective work. And they just expect you to accept them how they are, even though you're not, y'all aren't on the same level. And you're the a-hole if you don't want to marry them or whatever. It's like, we've been dating for 3 months. Like, where's this going? It's not going anywhere because you don't do work on yourself. Mm-hmm. I don't see any improvement. I don't even see any accountability where you can even say, oh, I need to work on this. So why would it go anywhere? Like, right. And when if you had that conversation with a woman, they'll just, oh, he's a a-hole, blah, 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 on to the next.
And I think it's also just hearing her talk about her dating situation. It took her a lot of growing to actually, or a maturity to learn that, you can't limit, what you're wanting, by someone's particular height. Just because someone's 6 foot, they're automatically discarded from the race.
Right.
You have to be 6'1" in order to speak with me, and things of that nature. And a lot of women, obviously nowadays, they have these boundaries that they place up based on attributes that people can't change.
They're comparing, or they don't understand the difference between compromising and settling, because there's a difference. And a lot of times you see this, don't settle. And it's just like, well, just because he's not a certain height and he's, if he's not 6 foot and you date him, he's 5'8", that's not settling. That's compromising, right? When you're settling, you're talking about, what? I have these standards that are way too high, and I'm just going to take whatever comes my way, right? There's a big difference between settling and then compromising. There's plenty of women that I've dated that I was like, well, they don't fit my exact what I'm looking for, but I'm willing to get to know them. And, I'm compromising. It's not settling.
And by the way, men do the most settling in the world.
Oh,
men are always dating down.
Yeah.
So it's funny how women are the ones that don't settle, but yet men traditionally date down.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It's very uncommon that they date up. Because women are like, no, why would I date you?
Right.
I can get a king. I can get a, whatever. Why would I date you?
It's insane.
So
Dating up for a guy, what is that considered? Is it just physical looks?
It's physical looks
and finances.
Because we don't care about finances, and you're not getting her money anyway.
If you're a man and you don't have any.
No, I would consider dating up a woman that's out of your league. What is a woman that's out of your league? How do you define that?
It's not a woman that's out of my league.
Okay.
You feel me?
I mean,
then that means that you have to date down.
Yeah, I feel like there's women that
that's not like saying that you're a perfect 10. There are women that are out of your league.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, you say that.
No, there's women that I'm not attracted to.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
You don't think? Okay. I just want you to just. I understand where your head's at.
Continue.
But I want you to be realistic, and you're telling me that there are no women that are out of your league.
What is the
okay.
parameters that we're placing around out of my league?
What do you mean?
There's no woman out of my league.
So you don't. So you don't think that there's a woman out there that would look at you and be like, I had one. Who are you? You're not.
I'm sure.
No, that's not the question. And this is why I asked you, how do you define it? Because I feel like we're not on the same page. Stephen, how do you define a woman that is out of your league?
So I don't know, a perfect 10 with a high power career.
Wow. What benefit does her career have to you?
It's not, well, I value my career and finance. So I know that she values my career and finance. So if she has a better career with more finances, that lends to her being out of my league, which is me personally thinking, not her personally thinking. So
what value does her career have to you?
No, that's not that's you asking me a question that has nothing to do with my answer. That's a completely different question. I'm talking when you say what makes her out of my league. This is what I believe.
Right. And so
I believe is out of my league.
Right.
So if I value my career and my finances and she has more than me in the sense of, I'm not talking about I make 80 and she makes 100. I'm talking about where if I make 40 and she makes 150, it may make me feel less than.
Right.
It can make me feel devalued.
Right.
So that lends to the overall look of being out of my league. It's not the only thing that matters,
but it's the primary. You're talking about finances.
I said it's a piece. That's what I'm talking about right now. I haven't moved to the second part.
But that's why I wanted to dive deeper. I'm asking you, what value does her career have to you? Answer that question.
If we're in a relationship, it brings value to the overall relationship.
Doesn't make her out of your league.
That's why I said I want to keep them separate. That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
you keep trying to bring them together. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not.
I said that a woman's if I feel like she's out of my league, her finances play a part. It's not the whole thing.
Okay, what else then?
Her looks. If I look at myself and I say, well, I'm a 6.5 and she's a 9, there's a big gap there. And I don't believe
Which one has more weight? Her career or her looks?
Her looks, because I may not even go after her. If I feel like I'm a 6.5 and I feel like she's a solid 9, like I feel like that there's about a 2-point difference. You can go up 2, down 2. And I think that's a good number. But if she's a solid 9, then I'm not going to go after her because I'm going to feel as though I may not be able to get her. Right. So I don't want the rejection. So those two mixed together would then make me feel like she would be out of my league.
Right. But primarily her looks. So let's say if she was a 4 and she made 150,000.
No, it would not make her out of my league.
Exactly. So my point is the weight of looks far exceeds anything else, which is why I asked you what the value of her career was, because I'm trying to figure out why you were putting it in there.
Because it's something I value in myself, which also means that we're going to see value in other people. This is why women, they see value in looks, and then they do, but they see value in men's careers. So they value their career, but we don't value that in the same way they do.
So she's a 6 and she makes 150 and you make 40.
Yeah, I would talk to her.
Exactly. So this is my point. My point
doesn't mean that I'm not going to have reservations.
I understand that, but my point is really drilling down on what does it mean for a man to date up? And I think that you've shown us that
it's primarily
it's looks.
Right.
So when we talk about men dating up, we're talking about a 4 getting a 7 or an 8.
All right. What do you think about Pete and Kim?
Pete and Kim?
They're split up now.
Who is that?
Oh, Pete Davis, the comedian.
Right.
Okay.
So do you feel like Pete dated up, or what do you think?
I don't know what he looks like.
Bro, what?
You know, Steven, come on.
You've never.
I mean, I showed you a picture of him before.
Yeah, but I don't remember him. I don't remember what he looks like. Okay. So okay, you want to show me this picture?
Oh, you can do Nick Cannon and Mariah.
No, they're not. I don't think that those are comparable. How? I'm talking about a man dating up.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that you believe that Pete Davis dated up?
Yes. Sorry. This is the first picture that popped up of him.
I mean, I'm familiar with his face. So Mike, this is tough because she's had so much work done and that's so unattractive.
I mean, I completely.
So it's a really unfair comparison.
But this is her life.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say it like this. No, I don't believe he dated up. I don't believe he dated up.
Are you saying that based upon your own personal opinion of Kim Kardashian? I'm talking about if you just look at them side by side. You're not without all knowing about them. I'm just talking about looking at them. You think that those two are matched physically well? I mean, you can think about all the men in Hollywood.
Kim Kardashian is very unattractive to me.
Okay, well then maybe it's okay. And once again, I'm asking
now. Pete Davidson. Let me give you an example. Pete Davidson and Megan Good. Now he's dating up.
Okay, so this is subjective, obviously.
Or like any dude like that is in his range. And what's that girl? Harvey, the girl. What's her name? Lori Harvey. Any dude that looks like him or comparable in Lori Harvey, that would be dating up. Look, who is Lori Harvey dating? Now she dated Future, right? Or was it
She was dating Future briefly, but then Michael B. Jordan.
So Future probably dated up with her, but I mean they weren't really together, so right? They were just messing around. But Michael B. Jordan was not dating up. I think they're comparable. I think Michael B. Jordan is.
I think Michael looks.
I think that's very comparable.
Yeah, I don't see.
I wouldn't say he's dating down, and I wouldn't say he's dating up. I think they match well.
Now, obviously, though, you add in his finances, then she's dating up. Obviously, I mean, if you added his finances,
I'm sure she makes a lot of money.
You think she makes?
Oh, I'm sure she's leveraged. You'd be surprised. Look at the Kardashian girls. I don't know what she does. I don't know anything about what she does.
Right. So I'm saying even not knowing what she does, you think that she makes more than Michael B?
I don't know. I don't know what she does. I don't think she's just Steve Harvey's daughter. I think she's leveraged her fame, hasn't she? I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking at this point. But I thought that they were very comparable. But dude that looked like that first dude and her, he would be dating up for sure.
He's the first dude. Pete Skeet
Davidson.
Pete Skeet Dave.
She's her net worth is under $1 million.
Yeah, I mean she's not really. She's only famous because of she's Steve Harvey's daughter. That's
right.
it. Like,
so she's not broke, but her net worth.
Okay, so she's not doing anything to generate money.
Right.
That's ridiculous to me. That's very lazy if that's true. I don't know if it is true or not.
22, I don't know.
I don't know if it is true or not.
IG influencer.
I don't know if it's true or not because those networks are always.
But I mean, okay. Well, if we just by comparison do the same search for Michael B. Let's see.
Michael B. Jordan, he was looking like a little sad after the little breakup.
I mean, didn't he
Of
propose?
course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, he proposed to her, and she turned him down.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have those conversations. We already had this talk.
Yeah.
Michael, 25 million.
Okay.
So I mean, so
I wouldn't say that he dated down though, because you probably need
as far as looks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're comparable as far as looks, and he needs to have that much money to date her. I couldn't date her.
So she's out of your league.
No. I couldn't date her. That's a her thing. That's not a me thing. She's not out of my league, but she wouldn't even see me because I don't make enough money.
So, but okay. So does that mean that she's not out of your league? I'm not talking about personally what you feel about yourself.
No. What someone else saying that you're out of their league doesn't mean that you are.
So do you feel like that there are women that are out of your league? Is there any woman, is there one woman on the planet that is out of your league?
No.
Now, is that because your confidence says that, or you genuinely feel like you have the ability to get any woman
I didn't see. I think you're conflating things.
No, I'm not. Well,
a woman being out of my league or not being out of my league has nothing to do with whether I can get her or not. It's all about me. And that's the thing. You're projecting what
I'm asking. So I'm asking you. So it's not about. It's just so.
It's not about what they think. It's about what I think. Yes.
So then, Lizzo, no one's out of her league. And anyone can say no one's out of my league.
Correct.
Okay, but is that once again because of the world that I choose to live in, or is that reality? So when I say, I think I'm just being very concrete. When I say out of my league, I'm saying I cannot get them.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay, and that may not be true because I went to school with this model. She's bad. Her husband is
what? I know.
Oh,
you told us the story.
Right.
I'm not.
But he could have said, "Oh, she's out of my league."
That's not okay. I'm saying that I feel in concrete, right? That when I say out of my league, I'm not saying I have low self-confidence. I'm not saying I have low self-esteem. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that based upon my life and their life, I don't have the ability to get their attention to then date them because of where we're at in life.
If we left it up to women, no man would be in their league. That's the reason why.
There has to be a different phrase.
There has to be a different phrase
instead of "it's out of my league." I mean,
why is that such a bad phrase?
How many women did you hear on Kevin Samuel's show talk about how men were out of their league based on their finances?
Because this is women and they live in a
exactly. So if that's the case, then what you're saying is all those women would have been out of your league because they would have said that you're not what they want.
Right.
Even though you can look at them and be like, you're not attractive. Like you're not even.
Well, once again, that is the world of delusion that a lot of those women lived in, right? That's not necessarily concrete. Okay, whatever. It's just me, and maybe it's just the world that I live in. But I believe, for me and other people, that there are people that you can't get. It doesn't mean that you're not sexy. Doesn't mean that you're not confident. Doesn't mean that you don't have resources. Doesn't mean anything. But I mean, like, I don't believe that if you put Mel and Scarlett Johansson in a room and she was single, and that he is going to be able to get her. Now, it doesn't. Now, I'm not saying that she just looks so much better than him, or he just. I'm not
take her money away.
I can't.
Take her money. You have to, because no.
I can't take it away, because that was originally part of my reasoning for what makes someone.
And I already proved. Yes,
anything.
because you value that higher than what it is.
It's a part of it.
That's only personally for you. Most men don't care about what a woman does. Don't care about their career. So if you take Scarlett's, her career and her money away,
a certain type of money.
If you take her career and her money away, what makes her better than Mel?
Okay, but you can't take it away.
Yes, you can.
No, I'm talking about.
If you date Scarlett, are you getting her money?
If I'm going to get things that she has, if I'm dating her.
No, you're not. You're not getting her money.
So if
how many women have you dated where you've gotten their money?
They don't have any money. So
period. No, they got some money. Some money.
No, what do you mean get her money?
How many girls have taken you out on dates?
I've been taken out on dates before. But it's not about am I getting her? She's gonna put money in my bank account. That's not what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Listen. Whatever. It's a Stephen thing. It's the world I live in. We live in different worlds. I do not believe that if you take Joe Schmo off the street and you put them in a room with Megan Good, that Joe is going to be able to get her. She's going to start asking questions that are going to nix you. What do you do? Well, I work at a barbershop. Okay. What do you make? $40,000 last year. Like, she's not even going to look at you. So what makes you feel like she would not be that she would not be out of his league? If she values finances and resources, and you don't have them.
I feel like when you say out of my league, it's like it's placing them on a plateau.
It's not. I understand why we don't like the phrase. I understand why you don't like the phrase. And once again, I'm saying
they may not be equally yoked as far as financial growth or anything.
It's not just financial; it's everything.
Looks. Everything is subjective when it comes to looks. I personally don't believe that. There's a woman that's out of my league, when it comes to just, because at the end of the day, we're human. Like, we place these things on people to make them like, oh, this person is unattainable. I can't get this person. And realistically, it also depends on your preference. Like, what do you prefer? Like, maybe ScarJo don't rock with brothers. You know what I mean? So then would she be out of your league? She wouldn't be out of my league. I wouldn't be on her radar of people that she would date. It's not out of her league. I just think that maybe the term is just not the right term. But what I'm saying is that it's someone that you may not be able to get for whatever reason, whether it's your looks, whether it's your finances, whether it's the color of your skin, whether it's your height, whether it's your dick size, whatever. There are people in the world that you may want that you will not be able to get for whatever reason. Agreed. That's not what. Thank you. That's all I want. That's all I want. Out of your league, maybe it's the wrong phrase. I'm not attacking anyone's ego or their confidence. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are people in the world, for whatever reason, you will not ever have access to. And it could simply because they're. And that has nothing to do with dating. That has nothing to do. I mean, that's in general. What does it mean? Yeah, there's
people who are married and you'll never get them. They're married.
It's just like there's always going to be some circumstances.
Okay, I'm talking. Okay, well, someone who's single. Like, I mean, so okay, that's my point is that there are people that are in the world that for whatever reason you will not be able to have. Doesn't matter how much money you have, how good you look. They just for whatever reason. So maybe they're not out of your league, right? You just won't have access to them. That is what I'm saying.
There are plenty of women who are inaccessible. Absolutely.
Okay, that's my point. That's my point. Let's just change the word or whatever.
It's not, because they're two different things.
Okay.
I want yous and I need yous. You know what I mean? It's what's that? That Boondocks? Y'all know about that?
Yeah. Well, it's real life.
It is real life.
Yeah.
The booty goes up here.
It's not egos. It's just different mindsets. You know?
I don't think it is a mindset. I think it is. That's why I said I'm not attacking anyone's confidence or anything. I'm just looking at it from a very concrete stance, and maybe the term "out of my league" was the incorrect phrase.
Or how about you welcome a new, I guess, idea when it comes to that?
No, because it's not what I'm.
That's not. I'm a tourist. No,
because it's not true. What I'm talking about.
I get it. I mean, we don't have to keep beating this. I get it. You know, I mean, because I felt like we just we're
I think we came to a conclusion. Yeah. What Steven's definition of out of his league is not the same definition we have, so we'll never agree. And we agree that certain women are inaccessible.
Yeah, that is my that's what I mean. But I'm not this once again out of my league is a different maybe it's a different phrase because it has to do with all these other things and people's confidence and their self-esteem. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about accessibility, which means for whatever reason I don't have access to them or I cannot get access to them. So that's what I'm talking about.
Never been to Hollywood, so ScarJo I won't see you anytime soon.
You got a picture.
Hey, you know what I mean? Got to keep it out there. Hey, we appreciate y'all rocking out with us. Shout out to Reg for providing some great insight from the woman's perspective.
Gotta go see.
I don't know what.
You need a modern woman's perspective.
Hey, man, we need the women's perspectives out here, man.
We're gonna have some more on, man.
All right, Chris James, Stephen Michael, we are the Application Knowledge Podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe because ain't none of y'all out of our leagues. You know what I mean? Hit them like buttons and all that stuff. And we see you beautiful people next time. Peace and love.
Holla.